You can't, fool people. You can't sell them something that they're not really interested in buying, or you can't sell them without a value. If you don't have value in what you're selling, then what you're selling is lies. I stepped out to go to Australia to study over there, and my first job, I wouldn't kid you this, was working in a railway station washing toilets.
Oh,
It was a very foolish thing to do at that time. What if somebody becomes better than I am? But the manager actually says, you need to be better than I am. That's when I can be called as a successful manager.
yes.
Every single day, I wake up and unlike anywhere else, I see more Saudi and the more of the local people here. And they are very hospitable to me.
You have a strong belief that the man cannot have more than a love.
Yes.
Can you explain this to me?
The man is actually meant to do more than just, love at this point in time, right? He has an obligation towards life. He has an obligation towards his partner. He has to fulfill those duties of a partner and also make sure that everyone is treated in the way that it is permissible in Islam. You can't do injustice to your existing one and then take on something else just because it doesn't suit your needs or doesn't suit your narratives. You have to fulfill your obligations as a husband. And if you have fulfilled that, then move on to doing better things, doing good for other things. You have children, take care of them, set an example for them. Beyond that, you have other people to look at, not just go out and look for another wife. That is my strong belief.
Do you have belief that a family can be an obstacle for good career?
For a career, for sure. It can be an obstacle. But again, it depends on what you prioritize in life as well. Career is a means of making a living today, correct? A career is a means of providing. But what if it comes at the cost of your family? Is that career really worth it? Is that career really something that you would like to, pursue if it goes against your belief as a family member? That's, and career, again, like I said, it is to provide you with the means to live happily, correct? What happens if you're not happy? Would you still want to advance your career? Yes, I have faced those challenges as well. I face that challenge even today. I have to balance my family, I have to balance my career. And more often than not, I actually choose family. And the career actually suffers. And I'm not going to lie about that. The career suffers when you choose family over career. But are you happy with that? Yes, I am.
In Petroly podcast, we love to go behind the scene of every guest career story. So, what is your first job ever?
Okay, this is really interesting, right? My first time that I actually stepped out of university, okay?
Oh, stepped out.
This is for, I did my undergraduation in India. I was brought up in a very, modest family. I was brought up in a very privileged family. My father was a doctor. And then first time I stepped out to go to Australia to study over there. And my first job, I wouldn't kid you this, was working in a railway station washing toilets.
Oh,
Right? And I came from a very privileged background. Trust me, I didn't know how to work. I never entered the kitchen. I never did a day of hard work. Right?
your first time ever.
My first job ever when I went to Australia was to wash the toilet in Australia. My first paid job.
How much was it? Nothing.
It was, yes, $7 an hour.
Oh,
Right? But I did that just for one day. I did that for one day. And I couldn't do it anymore because, one, I didn't know how to do hard work. My parents never let me do that hard work because they wanted me to focus on studies.
Mm.
They sent me across and said, you will do good. But then when you're pushed into a corner where you have to earn for your money and you have to do anything to survive, that's when I took up a job. And that was the one day that I did that job. After that, I said, I can't do this. But that taught me something even more.
Mm.
It taught me humility.
Yes.
Nothing in life can prepare you when a person gets down to his bare minimum and says, the only way from here is up.
Mm.
That was the lowest that I've ever had. And even till today, I don't have shame in washing my own toilets.
So I think Indian people have the humble by nature. Is that right?
Humble by nature, they're also, cunning in their own way as well, right? They're very inviting, right? The people of India, they're very inviting. They pride themselves on hospitality and openness, okay? But at the same time, it's a give and take relationship, right? They will come to you, they will do all of those things that, but there's a set of, there's in most people, I'm not talking about everyone over here, most people have an expectation, have an underlying expectation that, maybe there's something in it for me. But that's only human nature, right? I don't blame the culture about it. It's not a blame either. It is just the truth about the culture. I have lived in that culture for all my life. I have been with those people, and I am one of those people, right? And at the end of the day, we all, like to have a lot of things that everyone else has around the world, especially the Western world. And you see India, right? People are all about sometimes flashy cars, good education, Western education. They do all of those things.
Mm.
They love to be, outwardly, and they like to have what other people have as well. And that's just part of being a developing nation. It's not part of who we are, but as part of growing into the new world, that's people like to have things,
Mm.
and it's all right.
After washing the toilet
Yeah.
for one day, what did you do after?
Then I went on from there to working in a field. I worked in harvesting broccoli. You know broccoli, right? The green thing,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the cauliflower thing.
I don't like it, but
Right. You don't like it much, but I love it right
because
now.
it's healthy.
Okay. But I went to a farm and we harvested broccoli. A friend of mine and myself, we were both out of a job. And at that time, we went to the farm. We were taken in by a Malaysian family. And we went there and we went to a far off place called Sale in Australia. And we did broccoli farming for about 3-4 days. And the Malaysians are really good at doing farming. And again, we didn't know how to do it either. But after that, we started doing all of those things. And this is, by the way, while we were studying in university at the same time, right? So after that, we did that farming for a little while, and we came back, and we did. I got a job after that into an instrumentation company, and from there I went into hospitality. I worked in a hotel, and then I got a job in another company called Newlease, and it was an IT company. And here I am. After all these years, that company has grown into a multinational company right now. They have gone through their acquisitions, and they've gone through their challenges as well. But now they've become this big conglomerate called Crayon, which has now recently merged with the company called Software One. Yeah.
So you study after the graduation study in Australia?
Yes.
The master.
I did my master's in Australia.
What was the master about?
It was in information management and systems. So it's all related to IT.
Mm.
You know, because when you see an Indian,
IT is
you
first.
throw a stone at somebody, it hits an IT person.
100%. 100%. But can you tell me about your experience in university? Anything you learned about?
Look, when I studied in my undergraduation, it was a completely different way of studying to when I did my master's. Undergraduation was where education was forced upon you. Education was, all about learning what was there in the book, not having your own thoughts. And when I went to do my master's, the world turned upside down. It was about you need to bring your own thoughts into, your studies. But then undergraduation never prepared us to do, to actually talk about your own thoughts. It only talked about what was there in the book is always true. But in university, when I went to do my master's, it was all about, okay, what do you understand about this particular topic? So, for example, information security. Well, I tried to look up the textbook answer, and my assignments were rejected. I was called for plagiarism at one point in time, right? So they said, well, you can't
Because
just
you caught from the text.
I actually copied it from a book that was published, and I just wrote it word for word because I didn't know what plagiarism was. And then when I did that, they said, you can't do this. I said, how come? And then they said, it was all about putting your own thought process around it. You can quote somebody, but you can't say, you can't copy it and claim it to be yours. So I learned I learned life lessons another hard way of what plagiarism was and how to actually overcome those challenges, how to be original in your thought process. That's, life lessons that you learned along the way.
In hard way.
The hard way. And now times are changing, people use AI and all of those things. And in one way, it is plagiarism, but kids, how many kids do you know sit and copy their own their homework from ChatGPT? All of them do it. But how is it not? It's not their original ideas. Now there is a different level of challenges that we have to face. These are next level things that we have to educate our children as well.
100%. What's your first job after getting the degree in Australia?
So in
the
professional. So I used to I went to a company called New Lease. It was a very small organization, and that was dealing with Microsoft licenses, right? And that was reselling Microsoft licenses. And that's when this is before
the Office program.
Yes, this is before the whole cloud. The cloud came into existence. It was called hosting. So people used to buy these licenses from Microsoft through a reseller. So I started off as one of their coordinators over there, and then went on to becoming a licensing specialist over there, then a product manager, and then from there on. And this is all in the same company, right? And then I went to another company.
But before getting to another company,
sure.
What is your first role in this job?
It was to deal with licenses and advise people on what licensing is best for them for their infrastructure.
Sales?
Sorry?
Sales?
No, it wasn't sales. So there were other people for sales. I was more an information technology expert for them to tell them what licenses to buy and which fits into their architecture. So if you want to send emails, you have to buy something called Exchange, right? You have to, if you want a database, you have to have something like SQL, right? So you advise people on what to buy for what purpose that they need. That's what I started doing, and became a services licensing expert over there.
So your first title is information technology
licensing expert.
Licensing expert. Your second role?
It was a product manager. So because the company then grew and they had a lot of products, whether from Microsoft, whether from different vendors. as we call it, right? So all of these vendors had their own products that they wanted to sell. And we had a market and we had a lot of partners that actually used to buy these licenses from us as a reseller, as a distributor of licenses. Right? So they procured those licenses and they then started offering services from that. So I used to gather all of those products, put the licensing solutions around it, the pricing around it, and then start offering that to different companies. That's the short narrative of it.
Did you learn something in this period from your manager?
I learned a lot from my managers. In fact, I actually learned a lot about me as a person from my managers. They taught me about family and everything from there. They taught me how to be with people. They taught me how to deal with customers. They taught me how to deal with so many other entities and how the world works in terms of technology. This is something that you can't get from studying. The real world experience that you get from your managers, you need to have good managers for that. I had 3 key people that shaped my life. One of the first one, I'd like to mention them as well.
Yeah.
The first one was Dawn Edmonds. She was a lady and one of the most powerful ladies I've ever worked with. Right. The second one,
But why you chose?
she was our chief operations officer. She told me about, how the technologies work and how to manage those technologies, how the operations work within an organization. How you go from a small startup to having ambitions to becoming big as well. And then there was her co-founder, Doug Tutis. And Doug unfortunately passed away right in, our 7th or 8th year. Okay, he tragically passed away. And Dawn Edmonds, she took on the role of Doug, even though it was very difficult for her. She lost her co-founder. She took on the role and she showed everyone how it's actually done. So I learned from all of those experiences. I was actually bit by the bug of startups when working with those people. And there was another person named Warren Nolan.
The second one?
The third one. So the second one was Doug Tutis, who tragically passed away. And the third one is Warren Nolan. He taught me how to sell to the world. He taught me that, you can't, if people say no, it's not really a no. It just means that you have to try harder. Right. So these 3 people have always played a very vital role in who I am today. Yes, I do struggle, right? But I think of them all the time. I think of them and realize what would they do.
Any sales lessons from your first mentor?
The sales lesson is always be kind and humble. You have to know what you're talking about. You can't, fool people. You can't sell them something that they're not really interested in buying. Or you can't sell them without a value. If you don't have value in what you're selling, then, what you're selling is lies. So you have to create a circle of people, of companies that are around you, whether it is, what we call as a channel. In the sales world, it's called a channel. It's channel selling. So this is where you sell to the people that have access to end customers, and they will go and sell it for you because you are selling to the channel. It is sales multiplied that way. So you're not going to each customer and selling them, like, for example, right? For example, Starbucks, right? You want to be the person that supplies to the likes of Starbucks, coffee to Starbucks, and they then go and sell to customers, right? But you have to enable Starbucks to do a good job or you have to enable the coffee place to do a fantastic job, whether it is supplying cups, whether it's supplying coffee beans or instruments. You have to do a great job. It's the same with selling in channel selling. You have to be able to sell like, with the best of your abilities. And these are some things that I've learned that, you have to be true to what you sell. You have to offer value in what you sell. Because if there's no value, you break your circle of trust. You break the confidence that people have built on you to be able to support them in the time of need. This is something that's really important.
Interesting. So your second job was product managing?
Project manager in the same company, right? So this is the same people that I've worked with as well.
The third role?
The third role, I went to a company called Software One, right? That was a business development manager and also a software asset management expert.
After how many years?
It's over 7.5 years of working in that.
So your first managerial role was after 7 years?
No,
As a
it
BD.
was before 7 years. So as a product manager at Right, I did my first managerial role there.
Do you remember your first 100 days of managing? How was it?
It was, I had to earn it. I had to earn it. You can't just say that you're a manager and then expect everyone to, respect you as a manager, right? You actually have to, it is difficult as a manager, right? Because you're now setting the example moving forward to other people.
Yes.
And those are the ones that will either go to respect you or not. And that's the only way that you're going to actually be recognized. How good of a manager are you? Did you enable your other subordinates as well? That's something that people will talk about you. And the first 100 days was very difficult. Was very.
You remember any challenges?
I would say, yes, the challenges were very, when I think about it right now, the challenges were more about, there was an insecurity. Okay. Why should I teach somebody else what I know?
Oh.
Why should I teach? What if they become better than me? The challenge for a manager is not about, your the other person is going to be better than you. You have to make sure that they are better than you. That's when you actually did a good job. But when you're in your first role as manager, you have this, and this is a lack of understanding, because I'm sitting after so many years, I'm sitting down, I'm able to talk about it because that is the experience. It is not about, it was a naive thing to do at that time. It was a very foolish thing to do at that time. What if somebody becomes better than I am? But a manager actually says, you need to be better than I am. That's when I can be called as a successful manager.
100%. So how was the transition from the first company to second?
The transition was, again, very difficult. I was contemplating because I had a situation with my family at that time as well, where I was deciding whether I need to, my parents were sick at that point in time. I really wanted to go back and, be with them. But then I left the company. But again, this is inexperience. And when you're in your early ages, I had cold feet. You know what cold feet is, right? So when you're too scared to actually make the decision, you want to go back to your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right? I left the company because I said, I'm going to go and I'm going to do all of these things. But then I had cold feet. I learned from that and I said, no, it's not time for me to go. And then I came back and I joined another company, which was, at that time, it was a competitor to the previous company. And I did get a lot of, heat from the previous company because I worked with those people for such a long time. They really, valued me at that point in time. But, I was in a way stuck, not growing at that time. Right. And eventually, I got into another company, which was their competitor. But now the world works in so many different ways. That company is now one with the other company. They've all merged together. So, as part of mergers and acquisitions go in the software and IT world, that world is very small. Okay. You're never too far from another person in IT. So, chances are that everyone comes back to you within the same circle, and that is a fantastic industry to be in.
What was new in your second company?
It was more challenging in terms of establishing new areas as well, right? It was a lot of those things around setting up the company to be able to offer the offerings that were very new in Australia at that time. It was a different licensing model, right? It's called CSP licenses from Microsoft. It's a different way of selling, and that's when the cloud started coming in. The Microsoft Azure cloud and everything started coming into Australia, and there was a new way of selling those licenses, which was called CSP, right? So cloud services provider model. So we started establishing that for the new company, but I spent about a little time there, and then suddenly I had another awakening. I finally brought up the courage because my parents' health was getting worse. Right. I finally pulled up the courage. I had a discussion with my wife and my kids. They're very small at that point in time. And
You had a talk with your child?
yes, my little ones. So I have two kids, right?
So you took her opinion at that time?
I took my wife's opinion, and then we spoke about our children. Okay. We spoke because, I had achieved a lot in Australia at that point in time. I had achieved, when people want to think about materialistic things, right? I had a house, I had a car, I had a dog at that point in time, I had a cat, I had everything that a family wants, right? Security. But what's the price of security when you want to go back to the people that gave birth to you?
Yes.
What's the point of having a house and a car and everything that you ever wanted when your parents are alone? Is that, and this comes back to the previous question, when you have everything, what do you want? Why would you jeopardize all of that? Because you need to stay true to what you believe in.
So you are the only son for your parents?
I have an elder brother. Okay. And he decided to remain in Australia. But his choice was because he already had a family over there. He had everything, and he likes to be in Australia. And one of the brothers have whether it is by choice, right? It's individual choices, right? So I made the individual choice. I never consulted with him either. I discussed it with him, and he was encouraging. He encouraged me, saying, okay, if this is what you want to do, no problem. I'm glad that you would do it as well. So he was very encouraging about it. So he remained in Australia. I moved back to India along with my family. It was a very difficult choice because when you have everything that you want and then move back to another country.
You took the dog and cat with you?
No, I had to leave my dog.
Was hard at
It
that
was very
time?
hard. Because I didn't have to leave my children behind. Fortunately, I had to leave my dog behind. But those are some things that a person's choices makes them who they are. And even till date, I don't believe that I have made easy choices in life. I've always made difficult choices in life. It has made my wife's life very hard as well. But those choices is what we are living by. Those choices makes us happy because we are true to ourselves. And this is not an obligation either. This is something that we truly love to do. And now I'm here. Who would have thought a person, born in India, went to Australia, came back to India, now sitting in Saudi, sitting in front of you?
Yes, yes.
Life works in mysterious ways, right?
Mm.
There's so much potential everywhere you go. But if you do the right thing by everyone, life has a way of, taking care of you.
Mm. How long have you been in India?
I was in India for almost 6 years.
Oh,
I mean, after I came back from Australia.
yes, yes, yes.
After I came back from Australia, I was.
What did you do about
I
working?
started a company in Australia.
Ah,
Okay, so I started a company offering services to the channel that I spoke to you about, right?
mm,
Channel partners, service providers, IT companies that wanted to take services to fill that skills gap. The skills that are not available in Australia. So we filled that skills gap with people from India.
mm.
We took projects from overseas and we delivered those projects out of India. And we were very transparent about it. I still have the company. We still plan to grow it. We still want to have more people in Australia and enable the country as well. We want to have, access to, talent over there. We want people to have access to everything. But I said, okay, while we're in India, we have access to all of these talent pools as well. Which other countries can we help? We have so much talent that is available. And it is not about taking jobs away from a country, but enabling the country. It is not about, people look at it as, oh, you're taking our jobs away. No. The skills gap, what happens when you have a gap between, two concrete blocks? You fill it with something that fills that gap. And once the gap is filled, do you still keep filling it? No. You enable them. Once you're enabling them, they should be able to take it on themselves. It is just for that short, brief moment. And that was the business model we set up in Australia, is to fill that skills gap. After them, it is up to them to take it forward from there. And the same is what I'm over here. I have a different agenda over here. I mean, I've learned, never ceases to amaze me of what life brings forward,
So tell me your story. How did you come to Saudi Arabia?
So again, while I was exploring different markets, okay, this is something that I wanted to explore the western side of India, which is the Middle East, right? So I went to the Middle East and particularly Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Okay, I spent a lot of time exploring the markets, understanding the culture and everything over there. I've never been and I've never lived in that country. I spent about a year, exploring that market, and it's a different market. It's a very crowded market, and with everyone offering everything that is there. Everyone's offering everything under the sun, and it wasn't who I was. I had to ask the hard question: Is this something that I want to do? Get into a rat race with somebody that is trying to do something different? It wasn't me. And then a new opportunity came up where I got introduced to another company here in Saudi Arabia. It was an insurance brokerage firm called Fenchurch Farris. It used to be part of the Olean group. Okay. And now it's Fenchurch Farris was taken over from Olean by the Fenchurch Group, which is based out of Greece in Athens. And they're insurance brokers. So I started offering my consultancy services to them. And, that's when, I was doing digital transformation, getting them up to par with the new ERP systems, with, the hosting services and everything that is available. and bringing that compliance, through technology, right? So that's what I've been working on, and that's when I met our good friend Abdullah. And I use this opportunity to go out and meet so many people, right? And what I realize, again, I learn lessons every day. Every single day, I wake up and unlike anywhere else, I see more Saudi and the more of the local people here, right? And they are very hospitable to me, very welcoming. They have so many ideas. They have their weird ways of expressing them, through emotions, through language, through, being proud of their culture. There's so much to learn from them and so much to experience through them. They love to invite you to, their weddings, their parties, go and have a shisha with them, go and have some kawa with them. It's a much more relaxed environment. You're not there to do business with them every day. They teach you how to relax. They teach you, Habibi, sit down, relax. Not every day is about work. Not every day is about running. You have to talk to us. There's a lot to learn. I got to learn a lot from them. This is something that I started believing is, what does this country want? What does this country want? Does this country want to do business for the rest of the world? No. They want the rest of the countries to know who Saudi is. They want to know. They want the world to know what our culture is all about. Saudi has a unique culture. I've met so many expats. A very good friend of mine. He used to work in Al-Baha. He used to do a lot of experiences and tourism, curations, right? In Al-Baha. He fell in love with the country. He fell in love with the country. He took me around and we went to so many places. And again, this is through internations, and we met different people as well. And one of our friends invited us to his farmhouse in Saudi, right? We said, what's a farm? I mean, Saudi has farmhouses. And then we said, let's explore that. So we went on a drive. I can't remember the name of the place, but on the way, we saw a person harvesting honey in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of nowhere, there's just rocks around.
Have you tasted the honey?
I so loved it. The honey was fantastic. It had a really strong earthy flavor to it, unlike any other honey, right? But he was so nice to us, the beekeeper, right? He said, no, this is for my family, but here, I'm going to give some to you. That's hospitality. It's in your nature. It's in Saudi's nature to be so hospitable to people. And that's fantastic. I learned that about the culture is that Saudi don't, people over here, they want to explore their culture on their own terms. They don't want influences. They're very proud people with a lot of history, but they just need the help to get to the next level. And these are some things that I'm actually exploring even further now.
I want to listen more about your work experience here in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
You are now work in transformation, technical.
Yes, I am in transformation at this point in time, but I'm beyond that. I'm looking to get into bridging the gaps in different ways. What I want to do. Right?
What is your specialty now? How can you introduce?
It's okay. So my specialty is more in terms of technology transformation. When I say technology transformation, it is about, if there is an older technology with the way that things are changing at the moment, right? You have to be, it's all about securing information, putting systems in place that are compliant with the Saudi regulations, putting security boundaries around securing the data within Saudi, and also ensuring that the infrastructure is able to support the growth that Saudi is expecting for various industries. Right? My specialty is more around helping them design and execute the entire project.
Mhm.
My role is more around making sure that everyone is ticking all the boxes, whether it is in compliance, whether it is in security, whether it is in scalability, or getting into AI or automation. There are so many technologies out there that can be implemented in different companies, but people in Saudi still don't know that these technologies exist. They think AI is just chat GPT. There is so much more, and there are so many use cases out there. I'd love to bring those people to showcase those technologies here in Saudi
Mm.
and say, here's the possibility for you. Why don't you look into this? And this is not, taking the jobs away from Saudi, but bringing Saudi in par with the rest of the world. Now we're creating a level playing field. And this is not just for Saudi, for the entire GCC as well. My vision is to create that bridge for all of them to be able to not only do business here in Saudi, but take Saudi business outside as well. There's a lot of things that that we can do to help other countries, to do business in other countries, to be that sort of flag bearer, or also the beacon of hope, and say, this is a Saudi company and we're doing business with another company. How can Saudi bring revenue into the country, and how they can start trading? It's not a one-way street anymore. It is a two-way street. So people used to come into Saudi and say, let's come and establish things over here. Let's do things in Saudi and take the money away from Saudi. Yeah. But Saudi has woken up. What people need to realize is Saudi is not the old Saudi anymore. It is a two-way street. We don't only do business here in Saudi to develop our nation, but we also help other nations to develop their services as well. And this is the opportunity that I'd like to work with Saudi people on. This is true digital transformation from the ground up.
100%. So, what is your career goals in 5 years? We have 2030 vision.
Yes.
So, you have 2030 vision about your career?
I have a vision. The vision is not just for Saudi. The question that you asked me is, do I have a vision for 2030? Okay. Personal vision. This is not my vision for Saudi, because Saudi already has decided its vision. One, I want to play a role in achieving that vision, because again, this is not my vision. I'm here to do enablement. How can Saudi people achieve that vision? It is about, what do they need? The tools, the people. They need the relationships. And those visions cannot be done just by the Saudi people today. My vision is to help enable that even faster through technology. Technology is one aspect of things. There are so many other things. But what I can do is in terms of technology. And my vision is to actually have platforms that enable that enable cross-culture collaborations, cross-country collaborations. And it shouldn't be seen as, oh, we're tying up with another country to take their technology. But I want this to be seen as, how can we take that technology from somebody else and make it our own here in Saudi? Because at the end of the day, once the technology is in, it has to be run by the Saudi people. It cannot be run by expatriates every single time. It cannot be offshored every single time. How can we enable Saudis to do a better job, to do a fantastic, manage their own technology, manage their own visions without anyone's help, right? This is my vision for Saudi. But beyond Saudi, this is my vision for the greater GCC as well. It cannot be that every single time that they depend on, not just the West, but from anyone else as well. Because the new technologies that are coming up with AI and everything, Saudi people will have the same tools that the Western world will have. Right now, it's all about enablement. We have so many challenges that we're going to face in the next coming years. But there's more to talk about AI, whether I like it, whether I don't like it, and what I see as a vision for AI. That's a different topic altogether.
Interesting. My last question is, any advice to the fresh graduate who is looking for great career? These days career designing is a little bit harder. There is a lot of choice, but there is also a lot of difficulties and challenges. So what is your advice for the youngest?
We need to think differently. Okay, the young people today that are growing out there, are going out there for jobs and everything. Stop looking for security. You already have security today, right? When I say job security, career security, stop looking for those things at an early age, because it's not all about money. Stop focusing on money. Start focusing on creating something, brand new, fresh. Utilize what the government is already offering. Engage in startup conversations, engage with the community, engage with expatriates. Use the time that you have to speak to so many people, because your parents are still going to be able to support you for a certain amount of time while you have the opportunity to explore. Even if it's the craziest idea, somebody wants to start a comic book, somebody wants to draw. It's all right. You can draw, create something out of it. Don't depend on the security of a job to say, I'm going to follow something and this is my life defined through a job. Because in the coming future, the next 5 years, the jobs that we know of won't exist.
Yes.
Everything is going to change if they don't become entrepreneurial, if they don't become people that have their own thoughts and opinions. And even if it's the silliest of ideas, starting a coffee shop is not a bad idea. But what value can you bring from that coffee shop? Why should somebody come to your coffee shop? Is the questions that you have to ask. Create value. Start thinking about creating value. The money is the byproduct. Money will come when you create value. And this is my advice to young people, whether in here or anywhere around the world, is start thinking about it from an entrepreneurial sense, and always create your value, and your intent must be very clear. The intent which you're doing it with is not for the money, is to offer something which is valuable to somebody else. The money will come as a byproduct.
I can say or summarize your word by having the courage to create. Yani the education system always keep us from creating. So the courage, the one who can create and have the tool to create, whatever it is, will have big advantage.
Very true. I can give you an example from my own son, right? He.
How old is he?
So he's 15 now.
Oh,
right. So and he has
his
name is Zishan Hasseb Khan.
Zishan. So you're Zishan's father. We Saudi Arabia. We saw Abu Abdulaziz. Abu Zishan.
Abu Zishan, and my daughter is Aiza Minal Khan.
MashaAllah.
Right?
Your
So-
name is very long.
So yes, we have to have three names.
Every
So
name has
we
three
have to have three names, right? So this is a reason why my wife Arshia Khanam, right? So she has two names, by the way, right? So we decided to have three, names and nothing. But the point that I wanted to make was Zishan is a very ambitious, 15-year-old.
MashaAllah.
So he wants to pursue his industry, become a pilot, because every child's dream is to,
Be a
fly through the skies, But what I have drawn from him is clarity for my own self. He has equipped himself with such clear visions for his own career. He said to me, Dad, if I don't become a pilot, I will do something within the aviation industry. If I don't do anything else, I will become, a YouTuber. If I don't become a YouTuber, I will go and work on a farm. I don't care. He has the flexibility and the choices that he wants to make is completely blown me away. He's very resilient, right?
MashaAllah.
And my son taught me a lot of things as well, right? You can't just go back into a shell. You can't sit down and think about, oh, what's my career going to do about it? If not something, something else. If not this, then that. As in computer languages, we say, if then this, that, it's the same way. If this is not possible, I'll do something else. If that's not possible, I'll do something else. But you have to have the strive to do something new, something different, and you have to stand out. I've learned that from him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.